Hello, everyone. In the last lesson, we completed the design of the microcontroller module. In this lesson, we will make preparations for the soldering of the microcontroller circuit according to the schematic diagram. The preparations include obtaining information, making a plan, and implementing decisions. Through this lesson, we will understand the basic process of making a microcontroller circuit. The focus of this lesson is to understand the pin functions of the STC15W4K5HS4 microcontroller, the 11.0592 MHz crystal oscillator, and the pin functions of the LCD12864, as well as other soldering-related information. An ancient saying goes, "He who fails to plan is planning to fail." It means that the implementation process can be well organized, targeted, and efficient only if a work plan is made in advance. Our first step is to acquire data and information, understand the component list for this task, learn the methods for testing the components in the list, acquire knowledge about manual soldering, and become proficient in applying these skills. In the last project task, we learned 1. The tools that might be used for manual soldering. 2. The steps to measure resistance values with a multimeter. 3. Testing of components such as trimming resistors and capacitors. 4. The basic principles to follow when installing and soldering components. 5. The hazards of static electricity and how to protect against it. 6. The requirements for forming the leads of components like resistors for horizontal installation. These topics still need to be reviewed and mastered in this project task. Before proceeding with the soldering for this project task, let's consider the following questions. 1. What components are used in the microcontroller circuit? 2. What are the pin definitions and functions of the STC15W4K5HS4 microcontroller? 3. What is the purpose of the 11.0592 MHz crystal oscillator? 4. What are the pin functions of the LCD12864? What components are used in the microcontroller circuit? Based on the schematic diagram of the microcontroller circuit, we can see that resistors, diodes, capacitors, momentary switches, and self-locking switches, which have been studied before, are used. The new components are the STC15W4K5HS4 microcontroller, the 11.0592 MHz crystal oscillator, and the LCD12864. Next, we will list out the component inventory, as shown in the diagram. The STC15W4K5HS4 microcontroller is used in the circuit. What are the pin definitions and functions of the STC15W4K5HS4 microcontroller? The pin definitions and functions are as shown in the diagram. Pin 17 is the reset terminal, pin 18 is the power terminal, pin 20 is the ground terminal, and pins 15 and 16 are the crystal oscillator pins, which together constitute the minimal microcontroller system. An 11.0592 MHz crystal oscillator is used in the circuit. What is the purpose of the 11.0592 MHz crystal oscillator? This frequency is primarily chosen to facilitate better serial communication for the microcontroller, reducing communication errors and improving the accuracy of the transmission. An LCD1286 is used in the circuit. What are the pin functions of the LCD12864? The LCD12864 is a dot matrix liquid crystal display module consisting of an array of 128 columns by 64 rows, totaling 12,864 liquid crystal display points, hence its name. Each display point corresponds to a bit of binary data. In smart home control systems, there is often a need for smaller displays with lower power consumption. Therefore, in this project, the LCD1286 mini liquid crystal display screen is selected as the display component. The mini version has the same functions as the standard version but differs in size and pin functions, which are shown in the diagram. Having completed the study of the data and information about the soldering of the human infrared sensing module, we now move on to the second process, developing a work plan. Through the study of the above content, we have gained a general understanding of considerations in component testing and soldering. Next, we will draft a work plan based on the basic principles of component installation and soldering. The content includes preparing a checklist, work safety, work quality, environmental protection, working hours, etc. A work plan helps us further organize our work and improve efficiency. Next, let's move on to the third process, implementing decisions. After discussions with classmates and teachers, we determine the work plan and begin the installation and soldering of components. In this lesson, we mainly discussed 1. The pin definitions and functions of the STC15W4K58S4 microcontroller module, including which pins constitute the minimal microcontroller system. 2. A brief introduction to the purpose of the 11.0592 MHz crystal oscillator. 3. The pin functions of the LCD12864. That's the end of this lesson. Thank you for watching.